due to which I was not able to take the session. Okay, so in today's session, we will explore about the loops. Okay, first we will explore about the for loop, then we will see how your while loop works and do while works. Okay, then again we will come back to for in, then we will see for off. Okay, when it comes to for in and for off, here in and off are operators. Here in and off are special operators. So how can we use these special operators? We will explore that part. Okay, once we have done with this, then let's try with the DOM and DOM manipulation. So let's see whether we can start with the DOM and DOM manipulation or not. Okay, very important, DOM and DOM manipulation. I know like a lot of people have the confusion on DOM and DOM manipulation. Let's see how many of you will be able to understand DOM manipulation. Okay, so can you guys tell me what is loop? Anybody have any kind of idea what is loop? Now for, while, do, all these are loops. So if someone asks you what is loop, then can you guys answer what is loop? Anybody knows? Anyone have any kind of idea what is loop? Yeah. So let me explain you what is loop. Now it's very difficult for you guys to type in chat. Okay. So loop, I can say loop is a technique. It is one technique to execute, okay, to execute certain set of code inside the block. Okay, what is loop? Loop is a technique to execute certain set of code inside the block repeatedly loop is a technique to execute certain set of code, okay, repeatedly until a certain condition is satisfied. Okay, so what is loop? Loop is a technique to execute certain set of code inside the block repeatedly until a certain condition is satisfied. Okay, what is the meaning of that? Block means anything which is inside this curly braces. Anything which is inside the curly braces, we call that as a block. Inside this block, if you have some set of statements like this, if you have some set of statements, now executing this set of statements repeatedly, we are going to execute this set of statement till certain condition is satisfied. Till certain condition is satisfied. It means we are going to write one condition. Till that condition is satisfying, we are going to execute this code. So that is what we call as a loop. Okay. So while implementing certain programs, now sometimes you get a requirement where you have to execute certain set of statements multiple times. Sometimes you will get a requirement where you have to execute certain set of statements multiple times until certain condition is satisfied, or until certain condition is satisfied. Now, once your condition is not satisfied, you have to stop the execution of those statements. Whenever that condition is not satisfied, you have to stop the execution of those statements. Now, how we can implement this technique? How can we implement this technique? So to implement this technique, JavaScript is providing us 3 options. Okay, so basically it is providing us 5 options. So let me, what are those 5 options? While, do while, for in, and for off. Okay, these are the 5 options using which we can implement that looping technique. So first, let's see how we can work with while. So what is while? If someone asks you what is while, while is nothing but it is a simple loop. It is one of the loop statement. What is the purpose of while? While will help us to execute certain set of statements multiple times until the condition is satisfied. Now, how we have to implement while? For that, we have to know how while works. So the syntax of while loop will be something like this. So for that, you have to simply use a while statement, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open curly brace, close curly brace. Inside this block, you have to write your statements. You can write the statements which you want to execute multiple times. Now, this statement should execute till certain condition satisfies, right? That condition we have to write inside this parenthesis. That condition we have to write inside this parenthesis. It means whenever while loop encounters, whenever your while loop is encountered, first it will check the condition. If condition is true, then it will enter into this block. Whatever code you have written, it will execute all the statements. After that, again, it will go and check the condition. Again, it will go and check the condition. Okay, so the first step is it will check the condition. If this condition is true, then it will execute all the statements. After executing all the statements, again, it will go back and it will check the condition. Again, if the condition is true, again, it will enter into this block. Again, it will execute all the statements. Again, it will go back to the condition. Again, it will check the condition. So this process, it will repeat until this condition became false. Till this condition became false, it will repeat this process only. Okay, so let's see. Now, if I come back here, I'm just creating one file called while.js. So here I'm creating a function print 10, print first 10 numbers. Okay, I'm just creating a function called print first 10 numbers. Now, what I will do here, simply I will create a variable where x equals to something like, I will assign 1. Inside that, I will add while. Now here I will write one condition. I will say x value, if it is equals to, or I can say if it is less than or equals to 10. If my x value is less than or equals to 10, if this condition is true, in that case, you just print the x value. You just print the x value. Now, once you have printed the x value, now you increase the x value. So I will say x plus plus. So now in this case, what happens whenever I call this function, print first 10 numbers, this function will be called. First, a variable will be created and value 1 will be assigned to it. Then it will encounter while. Now it will check the condition. Now, what is the value of x? Now, value of x is 1. So it will check the condition. 1 less than or equals to 10. Condition became true. Whenever condition became true, it will enter into this block. It will enter into this while block. We are going to call this as a while block. It will execute this statement. Whenever this statement is executed in your console, it will print 1 because as of now, current x value is 1. Then it will do x plus plus. Nothing but x value will increase to 2. Then again, it will go back. It will first check after this. Do we have any statement? We don't have any statement. So it will go back and again, it will check the condition. Now the x value is 2. Now x value became 2. Now it will check the condition. 2 less than or equals to 10. Condition became true. Again, it will come back here. Now it will print 2. Now 2 will be printed. Again, it will do x plus plus. Your x value will increase to 3. Now it will go back. Again, it will check the condition. 3 is less than or equals to 10. Condition became true. Again, it will come here and it will increase the value to 3. I mean, it will print 3. Then it will increase the value of x to 4. Now, like this, it will repeat till our x value became 9. Let's suppose our x value became 9. Now, again, it will come here. It will check 9 value. It will print 9. It will come and it will increase the x value. Now, x value became 10. Now, whenever x value became 10, again, it will check the condition. Again, the condition became true. Again, it will print here 10. Again, it will increase the x value. Now, x value became 11. Now, x value is 11. Now, it will come and check the condition. Now, condition became false because x less than or equals to 10. That condition became false. Whenever condition became false, it will come out of this loop. It will come out of this loop. Simply, it will come out of the loop. Here, I am just adding one console.log, and simply I am saying that loop will start. Now, same this console I will add here. Loop stopped. Or here I will say loop started. Loop started, loop stopped. Okay, let's see what happens in this case. Now, if I go back here and if I execute node while, click on enter. Now, see loop started. Then it is printing all the values 1 to 10. 1 to 10. After that, loop stopped. After that, loop stopped. So here, the point what you have to remember is this statement got executed at the end. Once the execution of your while loop finished, after that only this statement got executed. So here, loop started and then it is printing 1 to 10 values. And then your loop got ended. Loop got ended. Understood how while is working? Okay. Is it clear for the guys who are very fresh, who are encountering this while statement first time? Because there might be like 70 to 80% of people already they know the while concept because they might have studied in their colleges or they might have studied in some other programming language. But there might be some people who are very new to the while loop. So I'm just asking them, did you guys understood while loop? Okay. Yeah. Now, similar to while, we have something called do while also. We have one more something called do while. Now, do while syntax will be something like this. It starts with do. Okay, you have to use keyword do, then open block, close the block. Okay, now here you can add all your statements. You can add your statements. Then you will have a while. And here you will have the condition. Here you will have the condition. Okay, so here you will have the condition. Now, how this works means, so whenever it encounters do while, first it will execute the statement. First time it will execute whatever statement you have written without checking any condition. First time it will execute all the statements. Afterwards, after executing all the statements, it will check the condition. So this is the one. Then it will check the condition, that is 2. If condition is true, if condition became true, again it will go back here. It will execute all the statements. It will execute all the statements. Then again it will check the condition. If condition is true, again it will go back. Again it will execute all the statements. Again it will check the condition. Again, if condition is true, again it will execute all the statements. So this process will repeat. This process will repeat until unless this condition became false. until unless this condition became false. Okay, so if you come back here, if I just take one small example, do while .js. Suppose here I'm just creating one var x equals to 1. Okay, I'm just printing same values. This time let's print from 10 to 1. I want to print the values from 10 to 1. In reverse order, I want to print. So what I will do, I will take do. Here simply console.log. Console.log. I will print this x value. Then I will decrease x minus minus. Afterwards, here I will take while. I will write the condition. My x value should be greater than or equals to, I want 1. It should be greater than or equals to 1. Now, if I execute it, if I say here node do while, now see it is printing from the value 10 to 1, 10 to 1. Okay, very similar to while, very similar to while. The only difference is in the while, first it will check the condition, then it will start executing the statements. When it comes to do while, first time it will execute all the statements. From second time it will check the condition. From second time it will check the condition. Here from first time only it will check the condition. First here check condition, then only it will execute. Here at least one time all the code will get executed. After that it will check the condition. It will check the condition. So this is the difference between while and do while. While and do while. So in your interviews they can ask you, can you explain me the difference between while and do while? Explain the difference between while and do while. Okay, very rarely you will get this kind of question, but sometimes you might get. Okay, in my entire career, like development career, I never used while and do while. I never used, because alternate to while and do while we have something called for loop. We have something called for loop. So I never got a requirement to use while or do while. So on whatever projects I have worked till now, I never got a requirement to use while and do while. So very rarely it will be used. Now, if you are lucky, then you might get the requirement to use it, or else you might not get. Okay, is it clear, guys? The difference between while and do while? Understood how they are working? Yeah, you can ask Chandrasekhar. How to print even numbers? Anybody knows how to print only even numbers? Now my requirement is, I want to print only even numbers. Print only even number from 1 to 100. Anybody knows how to do this? It's very, very easy. You have to just use if condition inside your while loop. Yes, we have to just use if inside your while loop. If I just go here, task. Okay, I want to start with 1. So I will just create one variable x equals to 1. I will say while x should be greater than x should be less than or equals to 100. Okay, then here I will write one if x modulus 2 is equals to 0, then only print console.log of x, or else don't print, or else don't print. After that, just do x plus plus. So first we are checking the condition that x value should be less than or equals to 100. Then we are checking that if that x value, if you divide with 2 and if remainder is equals to 0, then only you print, because then only you will get confirmed that x is a even number. Then only print. If this condition is false, then don't print. It means don't print odd number, only print your even numbers. Now, if you execute it, node task. Now it is printing only even number. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So till 100, it will print only even numbers. Okay. Got it? Okay, just you have to think whenever you get some task, try to divide that task. Okay, first try to create one story. Like if you want to fulfill that task, what are the steps you have to do? So just create one story and just join all those story and try to implement those parts. So initially you will take little time to build the logic because you guys are very new, but slowly, as you will get the practice, then you will start building your logic little bit faster. So at initial stage, if you are taking a lot of time to build logic, it's okay, no problem. Just try it. Okay, the more you practice, the more perfect you will be. Okay, now let's understand how for loop works. Now, even using for loop, we can do the same thing, whatever we are doing with while and do while. So let's see what is the syntax of for loop. So for, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, open block, close block. Okay. Now this for loop, inside this parenthesis, you will have 3 sections. For this for loop, inside this parenthesis, you will have 3 sections. And all these 3 sections are divided with semicolon. All these 3 sections are divided with semicolon. Okay. So let me just make it bold. Okay, this is our first section. This is our second section. This is our third section. In first section, always you have to initialize a variable. Initialize a variable. Always here you have to initialize a variable. In second section, you have to write some condition. Here you have to write some condition. You have to write some condition. In third section, you have to do increment or decrement operation. Increment or decrement kind of operation. For this, you can use your pre-increment or pre-decrement operator. Okay. So first part, always you have to initialize a variable. Second part should be always written some condition. And in third part, you have to do some kind of increment or decrement, depending upon your requirement. Now, inside this block, you can write all your set of statements. You can write all your set of statements, whatever you want. Now, whenever this for loop gets encountered, whenever this for loops get encountered, in that case, what happens? First, it will initialize the variable. Nothing but this statement will get executed. This will be only for first time. That to first time it will execute. Then once this once your variable is initialized, then control will go to the condition. Okay, this is the second step. It will check the condition. If condition became true, if condition is true, then it will enter into block. Whatever statement you have written, all the statement will executed. That is the step 3. All the statements will get executed. Once all the statement got executed, then it will enter into this section. It will do increment or decrement kind of operation. This is your 4th. Once it is done, again it will go to the condition. Again it will go and check the condition. This is 5. Again, if the condition is true, again it will enter into the block. Again, it will execute all the statements. Again, it will go here. It will do the increment or decrement operation. Again, it will check the condition. Now, this process is repeated. This process is continuously repeating until unless this condition became false. Until unless this condition became false. It means this part will execute only one time, and that too first time. Afterwards, everything will revolve here only. After that, everything will revolve here only. So this is how your for loop is going to work. Okay. So if I come back here, so first let's understand the concept with one small example, easy example. Same, I want to print 1 to 10. So here what I will do, simply I will take for loop. Here I need to initialize. I need to initialize a variable. How to initialize a variable? Use scope statement var. Now here I am saying x equals to, just give some value, whatever value you want to give. Let's suppose I want to print the value from 60 to 100. I want to print from 60 to 100. It means your count should start from 60. So I will assign here 60. If I say you print from 100 to 200, it means your count should start from 100. Then you have to initialize here 100. So from where you want to start, that value you can give here. I want to start with 60, so I will add 60. Semicolon, semicolon. Now in the second section, here we have to write the condition. What is our condition? Whatever our x value is there, that value should be less than 101. It should be less than 101. You can write any condition, right? I can write x should be less than 101, or I can write x should be less than or equals to 100. X should be less than or equals to 100. Like this, you can write any condition. Okay, so different people will have different mindset. They will have different logic in the mind. So different people will have different conditions. Suppose there is one task, and that task, if I allocate to 10 members, then there are a lot of chances that 10 members can come with 10 different logics. 10 members can come with 10 different logics. Now, one person logic might take little more time to get executed. Another person logic might take less time to get executed. Okay, now depending upon how they have written the code, the performance of your application will decide. The performance of your application will decide. Okay, now to write proper code, to write proper logics, we require the techniques of data structures. We require the techniques of data structures. So what you will learn in the data structures? You will learn the techniques. You will learn the algorithm. You will focus on performance, like how to write the best code, how to write the code so that your application performance will increase. This is where data structure comes into picture. Especially data structure will be used by backend engineers, nothing but backend developers, the people who are learning Java, Spring Boot, the people who are learning Node.js, people who are learning Django with Python, or Laravel with PHP or .NET. For these developers, data structures matter most. The people who are focusing only on front-end engineering, people who want to focus only on front-end development. So for them, data structure doesn't matter that much. They will be using data structure, but not that extent the how backend developer will be using. Okay, front-end developer will be focusing more on styles, how to give best user experience, how to create user interface in such a way that every user gets a best experience. Okay, so this is how role to role, requirement to requirement, technology will change and your roles will change. I hope everybody understood why data structures are important. Okay, so I always recommend, if you guys get a time, master the data structures. And data structure is not something which you will master in 1 month or 2 months or 6 months. It's a continuous process. So you have to continuously work on that. The more you work on data structures, the more stronger you will be. So focus on data structures, and to focus on data structures, you can choose any language. You can choose JavaScript, you can choose C++, you can choose Java. But most preferable language is C++. If you don't know C++, you know Java, then you can choose Java. If you don't know C++, you don't know Java, then choose JavaScript or Python or C#, whatever you like. But in India, people prefer Java, but actually data structure is best with C++. But it doesn't mean that using C# you cannot do data structure. Yes, using C++ also we can. Okay, now here what I'm doing, var x equals to 60, I'm initializing variable. I am writing some condition, and here I am increasing my x value. Nothing but I am doing increment operation. After that, simply I will write console.log of x. That's it. Now, if I execute this file, node, if I say for, now it will print the values from 60 to 100. So it started with 60 and it is printing till 100. It is printing till 100. Okay. So understand the flow. Understand the flow, how it is working. First, this line will execute. Then this line. Then it will enter into the block. Whatever statement you will write, all those will execute. Then it will go to this part. Again, it will come this part. Again, if condition is true, again it will enter execute all. So this process is repeated until this condition became false. Until this condition become false. Understood how for loop is working? Is it clear for everyone? Okay. So in JavaScript, we don't have a direct way to get the input from the terminal. Okay. So we have something like there is one global object called process. Using that process, you can take. There is something called process. Okay. Now again, this is the process is the global object given by your Node.js, given by Node.js environment. Given by Node.js environment. So actually, I will teach how to take inputs from this command terminal in the Node.js sessions. Because again, this is a Node.js concept. Now, as a front end, if you want to take some input, then we will use HTML. We will create one text box. Okay, we will ask user to enter some input. And this, whatever he will enter, that data we will access in JavaScript. And then we will execute JavaScript code. We will execute JavaScript code. And whatever output generates, that output, again, we will add into our HTML file. We will add into HTML file. So that output will be shown on the screen. Now, to understand this process, you have to understand DOM and DOM manipulation. You have to understand DOM and DOM manipulation. Okay. So now we don't know DOM and DOM manipulation, so I cannot show this example. Okay. Now let's come back here. Now I want to check a particular number is a prime number or not. Check the given number is prime or not. So can you guys think little bit? Can you guys take 5 minutes of your time and can you think how to implement prime number? Suppose if I create one function check prime, and inside this function, I need to write a logic in such a way that if I call this function, and if I pass some number here, suppose I'm passing 7, then this function should give me the output, whether 7 is prime or not. 7 is prime or not. If you are passing argument means here you have to take one parameter. Now here you have to write logic in such a way that you have to check this 7 is a prime or not. If it is a prime, you have to print 7 is a prime number. If 7 is not prime number, then you have to print 7 is not a prime number. That is how I want the output. Okay, now you guys think how can you do that? So before writing the logic, first think about the process. Can you tell in general, how can we check whether the number is prime or not? How can we check whether the number is prime or not? So what are prime numbers? Did you guys remember what are prime numbers? Anybody knows what are prime numbers? Yeah. So number, any number which is divisible by 1 or itself. Any number which you can divide by 1 or itself. Such numbers are called prime numbers. Such numbers are called prime numbers. Am I right? Any number which can be divided by 1 or itself are called prime numbers. Any number which can be divisible by any other number also, then those numbers are not called prime numbers. Those are called composite numbers. Okay, it means, for example, if I take one number like 25, now this number should be, I should be able to divide this number. Using one or by itself. Itself means here in this case 25 only. Apart from 1 or 25, this number should not be able to divide with any other number. If that condition matches, then only we can say this number is prime number. Now tell me, can you divide 25 with any other number? Apart from 1 or 25, can you divide 25 with any other number where you will get the remainder 0? Yes, using 5, right? It means this 25 we can divide with 1, we can divide with 25, and we can divide with 5 also. So 25 is not a prime number. It is not a prime number. If I take something like 23, now tell me what are the numbers using which we can divide 23? So 23 you can divide using 1 and using itself, nothing but using 23. Apart from these two numbers, you cannot divide 23 with any other number. You cannot divide 23 with any other number where you will be able to find out the remainder as a 0. So now 23 is a prime number. 23 is a prime number. It means here we have to check two things. Before checking, one more thing. Do you know one fact? 1 is not a prime number. 1 is not a prime number and composite number. Am I right? 1 is neither prime number, neither composite number. Okay. So if you want to check any prime number, it should be checked after 2 only. After 2 only, whatever numbers comes, we can check whether it is prime or not. 1 is not a prime, not a composite. Okay. Now we have to do one thing. Suppose if I am calling this function, and if I am passing one number, one number, first I need to check. Passed number as an argument. Passed number as the argument to a function is 1 or not. This is the first thing we have to check. Is 1 or not. Okay. First, whenever we call that check prime, and we pass one argument, the first step we have to check the given passed number as an argument to a function is 1 or not. If it is a 1, then simply you have to print one message. You have to print one message. 1 is not a prime number nor composite number. Okay, you can print some message. So here I want to print 1 is not a prime number. Suppose if you are passing an argument, it is not 1, it is greater than 1. It is greater than 1. In that case, if it is greater than 1, in that case, you have to check one more condition. You have to check one more condition. Now, what is that condition? The condition is you have to check that number is divisible by any number or not. Any number or not. How to check? That number is divisible by any other number or not. How to check? I want to check 23 is divisible by any other number or not. Or I want to check 27 is divisible by any other number or not. How can I check? So first, let's focus on 23. Now, tell me the value which is greater than 23. Using that value, can we divide 23? Value greater than 23. Using that value, can we divide 23? I mean, if I want to divide 23 with 24, can I divide? With 25, with 26, can I divide? It means the number which is greater than given number, the number which are greater than given number, using those we cannot divide. So it's clear, after 23, whatever number will come, using those numbers we cannot divide. It means I need to check from 2 to 22. I need to check from 2 to 22 whether 2 is divided. Can we divide 23? Can we divide 23? Using 4, can we divide 23? Using 5, we can divide 23. Like this, I need to check from 2 to 22. Right? Suppose if I give you a number 65, or let's suppose I'm giving you a number 61. Okay, let's suppose I'm giving a number 61. Now I want to see using which number we can divide 61. So we need to start with 2 and we have to check till 60. We have to check till 60. If any number between 2 and 60, if any number between 2 and 60 can divide 61, then we can conclude that 61 is not a prime number. If any number in between 2 to 60 cannot divide 61, then I can conclude that 61 is a prime number, because beyond the 61, like 62 or 63, beyond the 61 I cannot divide. That is fixed. So it means I need to check from 2 to 60. Okay, it means I need to check from 2 to given number minus 1 till given number minus 1. Okay, so now can we write the conditions? Now see, we understood the process. Have you understood the process? How to check a prime number, given number is prime or not? Okay, first we have to check. Okay, first step is check the number is 1 or not. This is the first step we have to do. Okay, let's try step by step. So here I'm just writing prime.js. Okay, let's suppose I want to create one function to check whether the number is prime or not. So let's create one function check prime. Function check prime. Now this function I need to call check prime. Now while calling the function, I need to pass some number. So let's suppose I am passing 7. If I am passing one argument means I need to take one parameter. So I will just take here number, or I will say something like num. Okay. Now what is the first thing we have to check? What is the first thing we have to check? Whatever number we are passing, it is equals to 1 or not. So how to check a condition? How to check one condition? Tell me how to check one condition. Which concept we have to use? How to check only one condition? Using if. Using if we can check only one condition, right? This is what we have learned in last session. So can I write one if here? I will say if my number, this number, if it is equals to 1, if my number is equals to 1, simply print console.log. Okay, 1 is not a prime number. Just print 1 is not a prime number. That's it. Suppose this condition became false. Let's assume this condition became false. Condition became false means the number is not 1. Number is not 1. Maybe user can enter negative number. Can user enter like this negative number? -7. Can a user enter -7? In this case, what this condition will return? True or false? This condition will return true or false. It return false. It return false means now we have, should we write the logic to check -7 as a prime? Should we write a logic to check -7 as a prime? Answer is no, right? We should not check negative numbers also. We have to check only positive numbers that are greater than 1. So in that case, what should I write? What condition I need to write here? Tell me. What condition I need to write? Okay, my number, whatever number it is should be greater than or equals to 1. It should be greater than or equals to 1. It is greater than or equals to 1. First, the number should be greater than equals to 1 or less than equals to 1. What should I write? Yes, I have to write less than. First, I need to check my number is less than or equals to 1. Okay, if this condition became true, then I need to check the given number is positive or negative. I need to check the number is positive or negative. First, I need to check whether the number is less than or equals to 1. If it is equals to 1, print this message. Else if check number is less than 1. Check number is less than 1. First check it is less than or equals to 1. Okay, if this condition became true, if number is less than or equals to 1, in that case, should I print this value? Should I print this value? Again, see, you are not able to write logic. First, I need to check, say number is equals to 1 or not. Number is equals to 1 or not. If it is equal, then only I have to print this message, right? If I pass minus, still this condition became true. If this condition became true, this statement will get executed. So first check number is equals to 1 or not. Okay, or else what you can do, you can check number is less than 1 or not. If it is less than 1, simply print here one message. Enter positive number. First check number is less than 1 or not. If it is less than 1, simply print enter positive number. If number is not less than 1, it means this condition became false. Then you check number is equals to 1 or not. If it is equals to 1, then write the condition console.log of 1 is not a prime number. If this condition also became false, then check else if. Now check whether your number is prime or not. How to check? It means whatever number I will use, whatever number I will write, here you have to check the condition. Number should be greater than 1. If this condition became true, then we have to check that number is prime or not. How to check that number is prime or not? So we have to divide with each and every number which is smaller than that. So for that, we can use for loop here. Can we use for loop? Can I create here a variable where I equals to 2? Can I write one condition here? My I value should be less than this num, then I plus plus. Inside this, I can write one if. So first, I am creating I value equals to 2. Then this whatever I value is there, that should be less than num. Then here I plus plus, so that I value should increase step by step. Here I will write my condition. If I divide my num, by this I, if I divide my num value with I, and if remainder is equals to 0, then can I say here the given number is prime? Then can I say that given number is prime? So how to say? For that, we will take one variable here where is prime, and by default we will assign some value, maybe true. If this condition became true, it means I can say the given number is prime. So I can add here true. Else, sorry, not true. Here I have to say false. Because if this condition became true, it means that number is not prime. So I have to add false. And finally, after checking this entire thing, can I check finally here is prime? And here I can write else. If is prime is true, then simply do console.log of given number is prime number. Else, just write console.log given number is not prime number. So what we are doing, we are just taking one variable just to keep the track whether the given number is prime or not. So by default, I am taking true. Now here I am checking the condition. Num should be less than 1. If this condition became true, simply I am printing the message, enter positive number. If this condition became false, then I will check one more condition, that number is equals to 1 or not. If it is equals to 1, then simply I am printing a message, 1 is not a prime number. 1 is not a prime number. Okay. Now then, again here I will check. Num is greater than 1 or not. If num is greater than 1, then what you have to do? You have to iterate. So value I equals to 2, I less than num, nothing but 2 less than here 7. Condition became true. Then here divide 7 by 2. If condition is equals to 0, Now here condition is not equals to 0, then increase the 2 value. It became 3. Again check 3 less than 7. Again condition became true. Again check here. Again check here. Okay. Now again still no condition. Again I value became 4. Again come back here, check it. 4 less than num. Still condition became false. Again go increase value to 5. So like this it will check. It will check till 6. So here nothing got executed. Nothing got executed. It means 7 is prime. Then here it will print it. It will check this. If is prime value is still true. So here it will print given number is prime. Given number is prime. Given number is prime. Okay. Any doubts up to here? Zero is positive number, but less than 1, right? 0 is less than 1. So it will ask you enter positive number, or you can just change the message. Enter positive number less than 0. You can just change the message so that user can come to know. Enter positive number greater than 1. Greater than 1. So if you enter 0, this console will print. If this console is printed, in that case, what you need to do? In that case, what you need to do? If this console is printed, this message will be printed. After this message, will it check this condition one more time? Will it check this condition one more time? Now see, there is issue with our code. Now suppose here I am entering check prime minus 7. Now here if I execute it, node prime. Now see, here I got message enter positive number greater than 1, and I got one more message given number is prime. Given number is prime. Suppose if I enter here 1, in that case just check the message. Check the message. Now here also I got the same issue. Here it is saying 1 is not prime number, but given number is prime number. Now if I pass some number greater than 2, maybe I am passing 3. In this case, let's check. Now here it is saying given number is prime number. If I pass here 8, here it is saying that given number is not prime number. If I pass 65, it is saying given number is not prime number. If I pass here 97, it is saying given number is prime. It means everything is working fine if you are passing number greater than 1. If you are passing number greater than 1, it is working fine. Your program is working fine. But if you are passing negative number, if you are passing some negative number, or if you are passing 1, then your program is not working properly. Suppose if I pass 1, then it should print only one message. The given number 1 is not a prime number. I want only this message. I don't want this message. I don't want this message. I don't want this message. So how can I restrict it? How can I restrict it? So can you take this as an assignment? I hope you understood the problem, right? If I am passing here negative number, if I am passing negative number and if I am executing, I want only one message. I want only this message. I don't want this message. If I am passing 1, still I am getting 2 messages. In this case also, I want only this message. I don't want this message. But if I am passing more than 2, Like if I pass 66, then it is working properly. It is working properly. Okay. Now somehow you have to rectify the error. Now that is your assignment, how you will rectify that error. So if I pass less than 0, or if I pass 0, then I should get only one message. If I pass 1, then also I should get only one message. But as of now, it is getting 2 messages. So how to restrict that part? That is your assignment. So let's see how many of you will be able to do. Okay. Now you use whatever you know, you just keep your mind. Whatever we have learned, based on that concept only, try to implement this task. Think. You will get it. Somewhere you have to do something here. Something you have to do here. Now, what you have to do or what logic you need to change, you just try by yourself. Okay. Yeah. So that's all, guys. That for in and for off, we will see in the next session. For in and for off, we will see in the next session. And next session will be on Monday, guys. Okay. So next session will be on Monday. So tomorrow I am out of town. So tomorrow, like I have cancelled all my sessions. So our next session will be on Monday. Okay. And from Monday at 7:30, we are starting with React.js concepts now. So if you guys are interested learning React.js, you guys can attend that 7:30 a.m. batch. Okay. If you want the link, just visit the Ashok IT website. You will get that link. Okay. You will get that link. So till now in 7:30, we have covered all the JavaScript, whatever required for React. And from Monday, we are actually starting with React concepts. So in case if you are interested, you guys can join. Yeah. So that's all, guys. So let's meet on Monday and let's explore next set of topics.